Hi, welcome to Queens Talking Reality. I'm Farron, this is,
Elisa.
and we will be recapping Housewives of Atlanta season 15, and we're talking about Candy versus Marlo. Or should it be Marlo versus Candy?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how I feel about this because I had one point of view of, oh, I was Team Marlo on this. Then I was like, oh, maybe Candy's right. Then I heard Carlos King's opinion, and then I'm like, this is stupid. And the reason why is because of how long this cousin died. And she's bringing up now, is Marla really holding up anger towards Candy? Marlo comes off as a hater, and we'll talk about it when we talk about the Gucci brunch. She said, you gotta listen to when people talk.
Yeah.
Marlo's true colors of not liking Candy because of where Candy is in status wise is starting to show.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how I feel about this. I think it's such the hottest topic on the show, but it shouldn't even be a topic because it's kind of stupid.
About which about Marlo's nephew or whatever.
I think to me, she's bringing up now is a problem. Like now you bring this up, and is it be really a trigger because Candy did have a shooting in her restaurant, and you think, oh, let me bring this up? Are you trying to ruin Candy's businesses? And that's what I think, putting a bad rep. Like when you go to old lady gang, like Shereé said, you don't know if you're gonna get biscuits or bullets. That was hilarious. So I'm still trying to figure out Marlo and this whole Candy thing. I think at this point she don't like Candy. She's using with the situation, the shooting that's happening now, as a way to bring Candy down and her business is down. I think that's what it is. That she's trying to show people Candy's not that good of a friend and really not a good person. But I think Candy explained it, tried to explain to Sanya, like, I'm not that type of person. I'm not the emotional type. There's certain
Mm-hmm.
people, like you could call girl, I'm sick, and they're like, oh, okay. They don't show emotion, they don't really cry, they're not emotional people. So when you are one and someone don't react the way that you would have if that they were in that situation,
Mm-hmm.
then I get Marlo's part because it seems like from what they've been saying or Sanya have said, Marlo and what Candy had said in the past, when they did the flashback. Oh, Marlo is such a sweet person. Her past has nothing. People should stop bringing up her past. It seems that Marlo's like a really sensitive, dare I say, loving friend, and I think when she doesn't get that back, she retaliates and becomes a nasty. You know what?
I agree. I just think that Marlo is I think she's manufacturing up a storyline instead of like naturally letting things flow or maybe channeling something that, something in her life. Going to therapy. Like I said in our last episode, she really needs to take notes from Portia. Like Portia was very aggressive. She put the beats on Kenya. You know what I'm saying? She did a lot of stuff that would make a lot of people dislike her and her aggressive nature. But then she started to go to therapy. We started to see like how she tried to change. Marlo needs to do some of that in order to save herself because I think right now she's a complete mess. Like she's almost like manufacturing up a storyline to like substantiate her existence on the show. And I just think she's overdoing it. She needs to like channel like something with her nephews, going out on a date, doing something else. And then I just feel like the producers, I don't know, they kind of chiming in, like zeroing in on her, her like messiness. And it's not cute. Like it's shedding a bad light on her, and it's making us talk about Marlo, but it's not in a good way. It's kind of like she needs to go, Marlo. Like it's not like, oh, like this is interesting. It's like it's messy. And I do listen, I love my Aquarius, okay? Because that's my fellow Aquarius, Marlo and Kenya. But Marlo just needs to reel it back a little bit and channel. Like, I think she should go at Candy. I do think Candy needs to like substantiate her existence too on the show. I feel like she's not really bringing anything to the show, and everybody's scared. They scared of her. Like she got these little minions. Kenya's at the Gucci brunch talking like for like Candy. Like, listen, Candy is just sitting back while Mayetta and all of these puppets of hers are like chiming in, when it's like, even with what's her name, Drew, like you can't bring up the shooting. She was like walking on pins and needles trying to, oh, what happened with the incident? No, what happened with the shooting at your restaurant? What's going on with that? What happened? How's your nephew doing, or the cousin, or whoever he is that got shot? Like, why was they so scared to talk about it? And then why was Candy allowed to not talk about it? When the producer said, are we gonna talk about the elephant in the room? Candy and Ty was like, what? What you mean? Like, no, you on the show to talk. What you mean? What, like, talk about it.
So a couple of things. One, there's a difference between Marlo and Ken and Portia. Portia was liked. Portia wasn't a bully. If you play back, Kenya was kind of digging at Portia. She had the bullhorn. She had all that stuff to make what's her name, Portia attack. So she wasn't as aggressive as Marlo. She wasn't as verbally mean as Marlo. She didn't bully as Marlo. And Portia had that wit about her that people liked. So she was likable. Unlike Marlo. So with that, it was easy to forgive Portia. That was one. The whole thing with Candy and them all kissing her ass. Is it friendship and loyalty, or is it kissing ass?
No, it's kissing ass, and like, I guess it's also like some hate toward Marlo. Like, Kenya does not like Marlo. I think she still holds resentment about what Marlo said about her mother not wanting her, and other things. So I do think that also puts the battery in Kenya's back. Drew had her own like situation with Marlo. So I do believe that, yeah, it does have something to do with that. But even at the Gucci brunch, like, they wasn't taught, like Marlo, like Shereé said, she's not interested in talking to you. Like, let Candy talk. Let Candy and Marlo like hash this out. Like, y'all need to just quiet down. She's not interested in you.
I agree. So as far as the case, again, they said for legal purposes, they can't mention it. I think Candy spoke to Kenya, Drew, and most likely Manya, like, look, I don't want you guys to entertain this. If you ask my friend, I don't want you guys to bring it up. Candy and Maniera and Candy, Maniera, and Kenya actually have a true friendship outside the show. You can see them hanging out. They went to Candy's surprise birthday vacation that what's his name, Todd had. So I guess it could be looked at as being loyal to a friend. What I don't like is them jumping in.
Yeah.
However, what I do like is when they were at the escape room and Kenya noticed that there was a confrontation that was getting heated, she quickly stepped up and got in between so they didn't escalate and try to calm Candy down. That showed me a true friend at that point. Where the boundaries, she goes over or step over those boundaries, is when Candy and Marlo's have an argument. Kenya jumps in and tries to defend and protect Candy. But other than that, I think there is some loyalty to their friendship, and that's why they're not saying anything about the shooting. Which I think
that's true, but I do think, but that's where I think Marlo is messing up. Like, she's talking about this nephew of hers that got killed years ago. When she has other storylines, she can zero in on. If she has a problem with Candy, she should have kept it at Candy. Why? Let's talk about the shooting. Candy, what happened at your restaurant? Like, I would get under her skin that way. I would not be getting under her skin talking about she should have brought me flowers. My sister was expecting you to do something. My mama was expecting you to do something. No. Keep it on the fact that everybody's tiptoeing around Candy. Candy's not talking about the shooting at her restaurant. If that's what triggered you about your nephew, leave the nephew out of it. Just talk about the shooting if that's what triggered you. Talk about that. And I felt like she had a point when she was talking to Drew, even though her delivery was terrible when she was talking to Drew and like, my nephew died. Like, she should have just, you saw that? You remember that part?
Yeah, she looked crazy.
Yeah, it looked crazy, but I just feel like in her delivery, it just got messed up. But she did have a point. Why was Drew talking about the incident? Why didn't she just say the shooting? Why can't we talk about the shooting? Why can't, and I get Candy can't talk about it, but Marlo can. And she should have got under her skin that way. Not talking about her nephew that passed away 2 years ago that had nothing to do with Candy.
Well, again, Juice said Chicago, they don't say shooting, they say incident. Lies. I never heard you from the hood and you talk. People in the hood don't use that word incident.
And that's why she's like, that's what I'm saying.
Lawyers.
She's making up so many excuses to make herself like have a valid point into why she was tiptoeing around Candy's feelings. Just say you didn't want to bring it up, you didn't want to ruffle Candy's feathers. That's the bottom line.
Correct. But when she said that, you look real dumb. Even Kanye was like, what? Incident? Who the hell says that? From the hood? Some people don't even know how to spell incident. So when
yes.
I was like, incident? Anybody say that? That's like cop terms. That's like the attorneys.
Mm-hmm.
You go in front of the judge. You don't want to say the word shooting. You want to use, oh, my client, committed this, there was an incident that occurred. You're not going to say, oh, he shot somebody, because then already that's just poorly wording when you're doing a case. But whole mess. But I overall think Marlo, I don't know if she needs to go. I don't know how I feel. Well, let's start this way. I'm not feeling this new season. So I'm watching it, but there's no passion in it. Like, oh, I'm not like, oh, what's going on with Atlanta Housewives tonight? Hey, like, it's none of that. It's like, okay, I'm watching just to watch something because I don't really have a good show right now that I like to watch. We're doing this. But there's nothing I look forward to. Normally, there's at least one person I want to see something. So now there's no interest. I'm not interested in anything.
And then what do you think about Sanya? Do you think Sanya's better this season so far?
Well, I'm not a fan of Sanya. At first, I was like, oh, Jamaican, a Caribbean. She's represent Jamaica. But, which even though I'm not Jamaican, but it was just a Caribbean person. I'm not a big fan of Sanya, but I saw her on Carlos King. It made me like her a little bit more, but not on the show. She's a little bit more interesting this season. She's speaking up a little bit more. She was very honest and transparent on Carlos King. She didn't try to say what she felt was politically correct, not to ruin any friendships. With Marlo and her, is she also kissing Marlo's behind, or is she also a true friend to Marlo? Because she's riding her hard for Marlo too. Let's not get that twisted.
Yeah, and I don't like the way she said, like, I forgot the term she used, like, I don't want to get on Marlo's bad side. Like, how are you friends with somebody and you scared to, like, you friends with them because you don't want to get on their bad side? It's almost like she said, I'd rather be her friend than an enemy. Like, it's better to be like a friend.
Sanya comes off very punk-like. Like, oh, those are the tough, strong women. I want them to like me because I don't want any beef with them.
Yeah, exactly.
Like trying to make friends with the bullies because they don't want to get bullied. Oh, I want to be friends with Marlo. Look how she's acting. Oh, with Kenya at the Gucci party. Kind of like, oh, I want to be friends, but I feel it's not being reciprocated. You're kissing ass. With Candy's not as aggressive with Candy's not really outwardly aggressive unless you're aggressive with her. So she doesn't really care about, jeopardizing a friendship with Candy. But the two strongest people are Kenya and Marlo. So when you enter a circle like this, you want to make sure those two are friends with you, because no one else you feel like could go you feel can intimidate you, which I think they do, or give you a verbal action. Because let's not forget last season when Kenya tore Sanya new hole. I had to stand up and say, don't talk to my wife like that.
Yeah.
When Candy even said Sanya behind the scenes, like, oh my God, how come you let Kenya talk to me and, play me like this? So I think that's what that is with Sanya. It's more trying to be friends with them, thinking, oh, if I'm friends with them, they're not going to bring any heat towards me. Because, if Sanya was not riding and dying like this for Marlo would have ripped Sanya another one, because Sanya is a weak link. Like,
yes, yeah, and she don't know how to stand up for herself. Like, she starts fumbling on her words. Like, she's definitely not good. The way she kind of like generated beef with Drew, it was like, I don't think she's a strong wife on this show. She's not a strong castmate.
She's not
I
a
don't know. I
strong
think,
person.
huh?
She's not a strong person, which I found very weird. I think it was either Sanya or Candy mentioned, oh, we went to Disney with our family. They went on vacation with their family, but then her loyalty seems to be a lot with Marlo more than Drew or more than Candy. And again, it seems like Marlo, build a friendship. Her nephews and Marlo be at her house. Her husband's kind of like mentoring Marlo's kids, nephews a little bit. I mean, I guess she's stuck in the middle and she decided which person I value more as a friend, and
Yeah.
Marlo.
Hello, watchers in the chat. But
Hi.
yeah, I just don't I don't know. And then with Sonya and Candy, like, what do you think about Candy approaching Sonya and like basically like she's not trusting her and asked her, what did you say when Marlo was not Marlo? Remember, she was kind of like, I don't know, I just feel like Candy's expecting too much from Sonya. I get it, they're friends, they castmates outside of this, but I just feel like when Candy approached Sonya and was like, what did you say when Courtney said that she's ghetto? What, she feel like she's straddling the fence with her and Marlo. Why does Sonya have to pick a side?
Saya doesn't have to pick a side, but if I have a true friendship with someone, not just for the cameras, this is not acting, this is true life. You on vacation with me, my kids, your husband, and everything else, and it seems like we're cool. If we're shooting the show and this newbie comes here and says something negatively about me, I'm expecting you to say something. See the stay quiet, defend me, be like, nah, she's not like that.
But
You
if you,
have
I
to
just don't think it was that serious though. If she said she was ghetto, why? That's
that
not
part I'll
serious.
put serious because Sonya just laughed. And again, I heard Sonya's part. The thing was, they had shown like Candy said, oh, what did you say? And Sonya implied that she did defend Candy. That's the issue. Because she kind of said, oh, yeah. Because I think Candy said, oh, did you say anything to defend me or whatever? And Sonya was like, yeah, yeah. And then they showed it back, and Candy's like, I don't believe she said anything to defend me. So when I saw Sonya on Carlos King, she said the reason she didn't say anything to defend Candy because Courtney at the time wasn't directly speaking about Candy. She was talking really about the audience, like, oh, Candy brings in the ghetto people. What's wrong with that? If
That's
that's
what I'm
what you're trying to
saying.
say,
I don't think okay. Somebody said I'm ghetto. If that's their opinion, that's their opinion. Like, what are
yeah,
you gonna do to change it? You don't need to speak up. You're not my attorney. If somebody said I was ghetto, Kenny, we all got some. I mean, I do. Like, some people got some hood in them. Ain't nothing wrong. Like, it wasn't that much of a big deal for
I
Candy to
agree.
expect Sonya to be like, "Whoa, hold up! Don't be talking about my friend like that."
Yeah,
Like,
it wasn't that
no.
serious. It wasn't. I think Kenya would have done it, but I don't think it was that serious to where Candy felt, oh, I can't trust or whatever. But I think Candy doesn't trust Kenya. Candy doesn't trust Sonya because she knows Marlo dogs her out continuously.
Yeah.
Front of the camera, behind the camera. So if you choose to be friends with someone like this and you're kind of siding with them, I know behind closed doors when they saying tear me apart, you're either agreeing or not saying anything. So I'm not gonna trust you too much. I'm gonna keep you at a distance. I'm not gonna try to be your best friend. I'm not gonna be extra close because you're with the ops.
Yeah.
So I understand Candy at that point.
Yeah, and I mean Sonya's just trying to stay safe. I just think her character on Housewives, how she's playing this is not going to substantiate her existence on the show in the long run. I think Sonya needs to come out of her shell. The storyline with her family members, the sister moving out, the mother, she wanted the mother to move out. Like, it's kind of like when we was married to medicine when what's the yeah, it's sort of like that. It's like you're trying to give her a storyline, but this storyline ain't interesting either. She got to bring something else, like some character and some umph to like when somebody's coming at her. She kind of falls flat.
Yeah, she needs to go. I thought she needed to go from last season. I'm surprised she came back.
And I said the same thing. I'm surprised. I think this is how I think sometimes they give somebody a last effort. But I think after this, I think Andy and the producers, Bravo, they're going to shake things up. I cannot see them bringing back these same group of ladies. No way.
I think the ratings went down, and I think the reason they brought Sonya back because they were hoping to see more beef between her and Drew, and they kind
And
of like
even that beef was terrible. Like the way Sonya was like coming at Drew and trying to like pull at straws that weren't there. Like she was trying to manufacture up beef. Again, that's the one thing I can't stand. Like you really have storylines here sitting at your fingertips, and you here trying to like grab at the lowest hanging fruit that's not even like is rotten fruit. Like, come on now, you could come better than these storylines. Even with Marlo, I just wish I like Marlo, and I do like certain things about Marlo,
Yeah.
but I just feel like she's just her delivery, the way she's going about things. She has a lot of trauma. I just feel like she can turn it around, and I wanted. I'm rooting for Marlo. I'm
Me
sorry. I
too.
don't care what nobody say.
No, I agree. I think out of everyone on the show, if they were to recast Marla should say, because she's the only one, to be honest, that has a storyline.
Yeah, and then she has opportunities. If I were Marlo, like I said, here, listen to me, Marlo. All she got to do, and I would do this for my check. I don't care if I'm not trying to be friends with, if I don't want to be friends with Kenya, I'm going to be friends with this girl, and I'm going to try to extend the olive branch. That would be my storyline. Like, I would be like, listen, I'm going to get this therapist on deck, and then I'm going to apply it by trying to speak to Kenya and see how things go. Maybe Kenya might start acting nasty toward me. I don't know, but that is a storyline. I'm going to fake it until I can like fully like substantiate, get my feet on the ground. Marlo still has not like proven herself as a peach holder. I just feel like there's things she can do. Like I said, get a therapist, try to extend the olive branch to Kenya. I would overlook my differences for the check. Okay.
Not Kenya. I think
I would.
not Kenya. Ugh. What I think Marlo should do is at least squash the beef with Candy because they have history. Her war between her and Kenya kind of keeps us entertained because they do little jabs. I think with her and Kenya, it could be a friendly, I don't know if there's such a thing, dislike. But throw little jabs here and there, like, oh yeah, she's doing a bad week.
But
Because
that's what I'm saying. I would still do. Yeah, that's
they're
true.
very comedic. So keep them at bay. They're not friends. However, she could work with her relationship with Candy because Candy's a businesswoman. Have Marlon start thinking about opening a business, whatever. She has that archive, whatever. That's not doing. I don't think that's doing too well. I know she styled Tammy Roman. Start showing
Yeah,
some of the celebrities. Her working on that
that
business,
too.
doing that. Last time she had a fashion show, focus on that. Her relationship with her nephews. Focus on that. Maybe bring in another relative, her sister. What's going on with their friendship? Maybe bring one of her sisters in there and see how that's going. How's going? What's going on with the sister that's in jail? Maybe bring her mother back because they
That's
have
what I'm saying. She has so many other things instead of going at Candy. But that's true. She probably do needs to settle that beef and then work on other things. I still will get under Kenya's skin a little bit, even
yeah.
if it is trying to apply my therapy lessons, the life coach lessons, the skills
Correct.
that she's learning. I would apply it, and then at the same time, get under Kenya's skin to add the drama into the show to keep us watching, but not like
Correct.
what she's doing now. She just being straight up nasty, knocking, banging down doors with kids in the home, with kids in the room. Like you can't do that. Like there's certain ways you got to do it, and it's a fine line, especially when there's kids involved. Like you can't do that with the kid in the room.
And
Marlon messed up with that.
I just feel like you're going after two of the biggest hitters with the most followers. You got Candy, who basically probably rules half of Atlanta with businesses and the money she makes. She's very, well known in Atlanta. So all her fans most likely don't like Marlo. And you got Kenya, who's probably the second highest in Instagram followers. I don't know everybody's Instagram followers. And then you got her fans that like you. So, and people see you act like this, they're not going to want to have to deal with you in businesses. Candy might have you blacklisted in Atlanta. Candy has a lot of pull. So you're putting yourself in a situation with someone who could potentially help you progress in life, not be there for you. Well, Kenya, I
Mm.
wouldn't really care about Kenya. But I think with Candy and
No, that's a part of no. You got to rev up the drama. You
no,
got
that's
to
what
get the
I wouldn't
drama
really care
going.
about having a friendship with Kenya.
I would do it for the show, though. I'm gonna do it for the
I
show.
think you think people want to see them friends?
I don't think I would necessarily be friends, but I would. Kenya just seems to like have totally written Marlo off. Like she does not want no parts of Marlo. If I were Marlo, though, I would still like, try to pretend to be friends for a storyline. Like,
It's gonna come out that you're being fake.
no, but if she's going to therapy, she got a little life coach. Apply those skills that I would apply the skills that I'm learning and make people believe, even if it's not true. And listen, I'm trying to get this check, and trying to stay on the show, I'm gonna apply the skills that I learned from my life coach and then apply it and then try to like extend an olive branch with Kenya. But I still would keep the drama going with Kenya, but I would still try to get a foot in the door a little bit, but
Then
not
it's
like
not
you said.
gonna
I wouldn't
work.
want to be fully friends.
But if you once you try to make amends with Kenny, you can't put digs at her because then it won't work. It's either you're gonna be
I would do it. I would figure out a way not to be full friends. Cause like you said, I wouldn't want us to be full friends because then there would be like, you need some type of drama. I wouldn't want to be fully friends. So I would just kind of just like walk a fine line, but just teeter a little bit on the edge. Like, try to be friends, but then really not. Like you gotta
Oh my
just,
god.
you gotta do it in such a way to still have some sprinkles of drama, but I would still do it so people can still like me and hate me, but not total hate like they doing to her now. Like everybody wants Marlo off the show. She got to reel on people back that used to love her, that wanted her, that was rooting for her to get a peach. Reel them back in.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't want her off the show though.
I don't either. She has potential. She's just using it wrong.
The wrong way. So now they had the Gucci party.
How you think the outfits look, the fits?
Terrible. I think Sanya looked great. I was surprised, like, oh, look how she had
Yeah, she did.
of course said Gucci. I think it was like a beige, or was it beige or pink, or I forgot the
I
color.
think it was beige. It looked a little beige
She
tannish to
looked
me, or
great.
maybe it was peach.
I was very disappointed, Shereé. This is your event and you're dressed like that. And you're going to a funeral. She looked the long jacket, the baggy pants. I ain't like the outfit.
I guess people be liking just everything monogram. They didn't have like some monogram Gucci on it, like the Gucci logo.
I'm like Gucci. Why Gucci? Pick something else. Then Gucci had something against us black people.
Yeah.
Oh, they still wearing Gucci, please. So Candy, expected nothing.
No, that was terrible. Candy's, I think, was the worst.
I think Drew too, with that fanny pack, and she look a mess. And she had on.
Yeah, I didn't like that either.
Kenya showed up claiming she had Gucci on. Nobody knew, which I guess she's not a label whore.
But she had a Chanel bag. Like you couldn't fully do Gucci. Like you had a Chanel. She had a Chanel bag.
Yeah, maybe she had Gucci. I can't remember what the hell Marla had. I just knew I didn't like her glasses.
Yeah, I didn't like those glasses either. But she had like a kind of like a raincoat type like Gucci on. It was like,
I remember. I would say Sanya, for the first time since we've been on the show. She's been on that show, I think, was best dressed.
Mm-hmm.
The rest of them were terrible. Like she said, a bootleg version of a group.
And they all look too sophisticated for me. Like I felt like it was just too like Marlo said, I forgot who she said looked like they was going to a deposition. I think it was yeah. I just feel like they looked too like they was going to a business meeting or something. Like I needed a little bit of like,
fashion.
Yes. Not it was like a professional.
Not Kenya and Drew. It was just not good. I think
Candy and Drew. It was terrible.
I expect if you saying to wear a designer, you want to step in there like, damn girl, I don't know where you got that at. It wasn't that. It was just like everybody, I got one or two Gucci stuff. Okay, let me throw it on.
Yeah, put it all together. Whatever lands, let's just go.
Yeah, I don't know. Sanya had that outfit already, or she purchased it for the show.
I think she had that already.
Yeah, and it was a great fit. I like the way it was very fitted. You could tell she got it tailored to her shape.
You're talking about Sanya. Oh, yeah. I don't know why I'm thinking Drew. Okay, yeah, Sanya. I did like that. Sanya has like that body. I mean, they all got nice shapes. But Sanya, I just feel like she has like that natural skinny shape. It's not like she got like a little
She's athletically built.
Yeah, and it did look like, I don't know, her body shape, it just looked like, it was like you said, it looked like it was tailored to fit her. Like I did like it. The way it fit. Her fit was like really nice.
Yeah, she was great. So that dinner or brunch, whatever the hell they had, turned into a whole argument between Candy and Marlo.
So what do you think about Shereé crying?
She cried. I felt like there was fake tears. I don't remember. I didn't see her messing up her makeup.
Yeah, I thought that was a little bit over dramatic. Like, why are you crying so they can all get together and you also in on it too, like going at the way you was going at Candy. Like,
Last
come on,
season,
stop, girl.
you part of it, and I bet you got
Yeah.
the time where you're doing the same thing. Because so it seems like this next episode you're gonna talk about Candy, talk about she by Shereé, or has Candy said she by she. So
That clip was hilarious, by the
I
way.
think I like that name better, she by she, than
And the
she
funny
by
part
Shereé.
about that clip, but that's gonna come on next week. I really honestly don't think I think that Candy didn't even really mean to like do a dig. I
No, I
really
don't think
think
she. I think she said it by accident.
that's what I'm saying. I think she really did. Everybody's so used to saying that she get her stuff from Alibaba and Sheen. I really think she was really being serious and was like trying to talk about like whatever she was saying within that sentence. She did not mean to say she by Sheen, but it just came out. And then Shereé, that did not land well with Shereé at all.
So Shereé thought Candy was doing it purposely, saying she
And
by
she
she.
wasn't. I really think that was a slip of the tongue.
I agree, but I mean, with their friendship, I didn't even know they had a friendship again, based on last season. So I didn't even know they were still friends. All in all, it was one of those. I mean, Marlo ended up storming out. Kenya and Drew took over the whole conversation.
But what do you think about Marlo's approach this time about the nephew? Did you feel some kind of like sympathy toward Marlo? Did you have any empathy?
I mean, they showed the text messages. They showed going to Candy's house the next day. I just think she took too long to talk about, but I do understand Marlo's feelings, why she felt the way she felt, because her and Candy had a friendship. I don't care, regardless if this is the thing, regardless if the her nephew was a coworker of Candy's or foreign coworker. If my friend calls me and tells me, "Oh, my nephew passed away," comes the next day to my house, it's affecting that individual. I know there's a wake. I'm sending flowers. I'm sending flowers to my friend. I'm doing something for my friend. It's not, I don't think everyone keep thinking, oh, Candy shouldn't have to do anything. That's a former coworker. She's looking at it as I was Candy's friend. And I lost somebody that I love. I lost somebody that this person's loss affected me. And Candy didn't do anything about it. Or didn't give me any comfort or felt bad. It wasn't so much that that was a former employee. It was more so as a friend, Candy was not there for it. That's how I see it. I most likely feel the same way.
I don't know. I don't think, but like Candy said, I mean, I can't expect anyone. I can't have high expectations. If you know your friends, you know your friends. Like, I'm not going to expect like certain people. I don't think I would expect have these high expectations of them bringing flowers. Like Candy said, she's not like that. She does things in other ways. She's the one that when Marlo didn't have a peach on Housewives, she was trying to get Marlo a show on another network. And
Yes.
Marlo turned it down, but Candy was behind Marlo and rooting for her to win. So even though she may not have done other things, sometimes you can't take all the negatives. You got to give some weight also to the positives. Like, yeah, she didn't send your nephew flowers. I mean, she didn't send you flowers for your nephew, but there's so many other things that Candy has done. And Candy already said she's not that type of friend. She's learned to put up like she said a shell, or she's like not a shell of a person, but she's learned to put up like a wall when it comes to like sympathy because her brother died at a young age. So when it comes to showering people with all of these tears, she's learned she doesn't do that when it comes to that, because she's experienced way more hurt than what other people experience. She can't experience that same hurt, but she does things in other ways. And I get what Candy's saying, but I just think Marlo is I feel like she's just trying to like substantiate her existence by picking at Candy because Candy's a top dog. She's not, she has room to go at Manetta. She had room to go at Manetta, but she was kind of like a flea, like just, tossing her to the side, but she's really trying to come at Candy. And I just think she's doing that to substantiate her existence. But as far as that nephew situation, I don't think that Candy should have sent flowers. She said whatever she said in the text message, and that was it. Like, you didn't say nothing else. And then also, I think when you have friendships, even family relationships, when you feeling some kind of way about anything, it's all about communication. When if I did something to you, listen, I'm a good person. I don't mean to go around doing things malicious, but sometimes something may come off as malicious that you might have thought I did, but that wasn't my intention. But as your friend, I'm a good person. Come to me and communicate it to me. Tell me I didn't send you flowers. Tell me what I did wrong to you. So maybe I can say sorry and then make up for it in other ways. The funeral passed by, and maybe I can let you know I'm not that type of person. But Marlo didn't even communicate that. She kept hanging out with her. She saw her the next season. They had interactions the next season, and she said absolutely nothing. And if you said nothing then, don't dare come at me now, because now I'm really going to put my foot on your neck when you come at me. Like, you think you got your foot on my neck? No, I'm gonna return that to you. You're not gonna keep coming at me about your nephew when you didn't come at me before. You didn't communicate. You didn't communicate with me as a friend should.
No, I agree. I think she should have said it now. There's an opportunity to use it and throw it in Candy's face and try to tie the restaurant with that. Like, oh, this is, a person that worked in Candy's restaurant. Also, I said I agree with Farrah. I don't know. Okay, Facebook user. Hey. So I think all in all that there was lack of communication. Candy went to two horrific deaths, her brother and her fiance at the time. But again, know your friends.
Exactly.
You
And
gotta know your
communicate.
friends. You gotta know what time. Like I have a few people I talk to and their coworkers, and I could consider them close to friends. I know there's one that would probably send me flowers. I know one that probably wouldn't. And if I'm grieving, I don't know if I'd be thinking about who sent me flowers or not. I don't know. I don't know. But my whole thing is Marlo did not communicate with Candy how she felt. And if Candy explained to Marlo that it's not that I don't care, but this is my way when it comes to maybe dealing with death. I isolate myself. I try to be emotionless because my brother died. I think Marlo would have respected that. But again, Candy said this to Sanya because Candy didn't really know Marlo's true feelings about it. Marlo's approach was totally wrong.
Exactly. And then that's what makes things kind of like come to a halt. And then all communication, effective communication stops when you start coming at me in an aggressive way. Like, if she would have just communicated effectively when it happened, this all could have been dealt with. But I believe that Marlo is just picking at any kind of storyline just to substantiate her existence. And I think she's going about it all wrong.
Uh,
So
I
yeah,
think
back to the Gucci brunch. I just think that you know, Candy just I'm with Candy on this. Even though I love Marlo, I'm with Candy in this interaction that they had.
I'm on Marlo's side. I just think the way she presented it was wrong. Is the present to me. What do you guys think about Candy, Mother and Child? Lord, that's a good one. That's a tough one. Um, at this point, you have a husband, you got a family. Her mother got to go because I think Todd has proven himself enough to show that he's a good husband. He's supportive. He ain't after Candy's money. He's a good father. My mother would have to go. You're not going to disrespect my husband and the father of my children. You can't come to the house. If I'm giving you money, that's cut off.
Mm-hmm.
Apologize to my husband, and you and I will no longer have a relationship until you go on social media and apologize and respect my husband.
Mm-hmm.
Candy does not put her foot down. I don't care what she says, or I'm going to talk to my mom when dressing. It's been going on too long. Your mother does not respect you, your husband, or your kids.
Yeah, and I kind of get what her mother's saying, but I think those are feelings you keep within yourself. If you now agree with my partner, that's fine, but you're going to respect my partner when I'm around. Like, you can't just keep disrespecting him to me, the public, and all that. I just think Mama Joyce is kind of eating up her popularity. Like, people actually love her, some people hate her, but I do think people kind of find her funny. I think she's kind of like made shine some light on herself. I do think she has some fanfare on the show, and I just think she's eating that up. So when they did ask her the question at BravoCon about Todd, I think she just gave an answer that she was expecting like the audience to laugh at and like kind of like, expect from Mama Joyce. I just don't think she's going to give Candy the proper respect because Candy isn't putting her foot down. Like she's not, she's let it slide so long. And I just can't believe how Todd is overlooking that also. Like he's not putting no pressure on Candy to get things right. Like he's having his beef. He's uncomfortable with Mama Joyce at time most of the time, but he's not holding Candy accountable. Like for nothing. Like he says his little things, but she's the main reason why her mother continuously disrespects him.
It's
She could
Candy's,
put a halt to that. She's
it's
the
Candy's
money maker.
it's Candy's fault, but I think I commend Todd because I think at the end of the day, it shows that he is confident of who he is and what he's brought to the marriage. So it's
Yeah.
like, no, run her mouth. I know I'm not the deadbeat. I know, yeah, Candy had more money than me, but I've also helped her business. Because let's be clear, Todd was the one that had the idea of the restaurant. A lot of these behind the scenes business that Candy had, Todd has contributed, whether it be the
No, yeah, but
he has. She might have the money, but
But
he's
listen, no, but she has, as you said many times, even though I don't believe that she's a strong housewife, she has the popularity. Candy is worldwide, okay? So her
yes, but
worldwide, huh?
the ideas, yes, she's bringing the crowd, but the ideas and how to get things done, he said it helped her a lot.
Listen, I have many ideas, but do I have the backing to bring it to fruition? Do I have the worldwide popularity to bring it to fruition? That's all you need. So you could come up with little ideas. You could come up with like any little thing, and it will pop because of Candy's popularity. So I don't give Todd any kudos for that because
I'm not
oh,
taking
please, I can come up with an idea that Candy that would pop with Candy behind me.
Yeah, but the thing is, he's also helping her get it done. He was helping manage the restaurant. He was finding the location of the restaurant. He was figuring out how to construct the restaurant. He was doing a lot of stuff while she was doing other things. Because
I would do the same thing if I have the purse strings behind me and the popularity. That's all you need. You think I'm not gonna be doing all that either?
The thing is, Todd has been supportive to Candy. One, when
Yes.
she's running around doing all this stuff, he's there with the kids if he possibly could do it. He's there to push her, like, oh, baby, could do it. When she was doing the shy, he was doing like, oh, don't worry about the love scene. Go ahead and go for your acting. He's been pushing her.
No, I do. Listen, I do believe. I definitely think Todd is a good man. I absolutely.
That's what I said. It don't have to
But I'm just saying, as the mother, as Mama Joyce, I can see certain things that she's saying. I wouldn't voice it. Those would be feelings that I would carry to my grave, and I would. How Mama Joyce feels about Todd. She feels like he's not good enough for her daughter. She feels that, like what I'm saying, like she knows that without Candy, Todd's restaurants, with all these ideas that Todd's coming up with, the plays, the this, the that, they would flop without Candy's backing. And Mama Joyce knows this. She knows her daughter's capability. She knows her daughter's strength. She knows her daughter is worldwide. So without Candy, Todd's ideas would be nothing. So I agree with her mother in that sense, but I would never say that. I still think Todd is still a good man, even though some of that is true. Yes, but that doesn't take away the fact that he's still a good man. He's a good father. He plays his position well. So Mama Joyce isn't giving him the positive. She's not putting the positives out there about Todd. She just completely talking about all these negative things that I don't think she should be talking about.
Because what she's looking at is financial status. That's what she defines as a good man.
No,
that's what it is. She's not looking how is he not a good man to her? He ain't doing that to Candy.
I don't think she feels that Todd. Yeah, but she feels like Todd should be with not Todd. She feels like her daughter should be with like Barack Obama or something.
Exactly.
You know, mothers
status, financial status. She doesn't
not financial. I just think as far as like Candy is she's a go-getter. She is like, I don't think it's necessarily money, but yeah, but her daughter's a millionaire. She's wrote songs that's gonna last, like, gonna hold her down for generations and generations. She wants somebody as strong as her daughter that has all that power.
Exactly. Again, it's status.
I don't think it's status. I don't think
it has nothing to do with the fact that he's a good man. He's polite. He treats her good. All of that stuff that we see on TV. We don't know what's happening in the back. He has a good relationship with his stepdaughter now. It seems like he's good with the kids. He's attentive to Candy. All of that does not matter, but the fact that, oh, he's not making this, he's not this tax bracket, he's not this status. It's all about status with her.
Yeah, but you don't think, like, say if Candy did marry somebody that was of, like, like a someone of power, okay, financial, okay, let's say financially built, like maybe he wouldn't have to depend on Candy so much to do everything. Maybe she wants the weight lifted off her daughter, so somebody, so she can relax, so she don't have to be like, always, trying to get to the bag always. Like maybe if she was with somebody that was a multi-billionaire, like she wouldn't have to be doing certain things that she have to do. Maybe she don't want a man on, on her daughter's coat strings, coattail.
That's the thing is, Candy is a workaholic. I don't care if she was married to Bill Gates. She would still want her own because, again, that's not her money. That is her husband's money. Candy's the type of woman that looks like she's very money driven. There's people that's just greedy for money. There's women that are like that, or people that's just about money, money, money. You could have billions and you want a billion and one. Like there's no ever, they're never satisfied with what they have. Candy seems to be that type of person. Todd, on the other hand, I don't think at this point, yeah, I know Todd as Candy's wife, but I think he made a name for himself. I think he did. But all in all, Mama Joyce not liking Todd, even from the beginning.
He made a name for himself off of Candy. Without Candy, yes, he would not be a household name.
He did. But we're making this, I think, because he's a man. If it was a woman that was married to a man with a lot of money, we would not be thinking this way.
No, I say the same thing about some of these housewives only.
My whole thing is Candy finding someone maybe in her realm or her bracket may not have happened for her. We don't know. Just because she got money don't mean she would have got a millionaire would have been with her. She found a guy. Todd was not a deadbeat. He had a job where most people don't even make that kind of money. He produced a lot of the stuff, so he wasn't like a loser. He didn't have millions, but he has hundreds. He made at least six figures from what we know. So he wasn't like a loser. She didn't get a bum off the street.
I agree. I'm just speaking from a mother's perspective and what she feels like is, some mothers feel like a man is never good enough. And I just think she's outspoken about it. But she should keep that to herself. I think she should. And Candy needs to speak up and let her mother know in a more firmer way that it's not right what she's doing. And Candy's talking about they need to go to family therapy. I won't be going to family therapy with my mom and my husband in order to get her. Like they don't need family therapy. Just stop doing it. Yeah, I just can't believe Candy's like doing everything else besides talking to her mother and letting her know what you're doing is not right and to stop it. You do not need family therapy for that. And Todd is agreeing to this.
Candy looks like the type of person that's still scared of their mom. There are people, whatever age they are, their mother has this hold on them and they're so fearful. Candy looks like she's scared to speak up to her mom. Oh gosh, her mom don't talk to her. She's still very respectful to her mom because she knows, she's like, I don't play about my man. Lord, if forbid somebody else on the cast and something about Todd like that. It would have went off. So why is it your mom could go around talking crazy about your husband?
True.
Unless Candy secretly agrees with her mother.
I think a lot of what her mother's saying is true, but is it like,
and don't want to say it, so
I think she agrees, but I do think she's not just looking, like I'm saying, like I do think what her mother's saying does have some substance, but I do feel that there are a lot of positives. You can't just talk about the negatives with Todd. Yeah, he's short. Yeah, he may not have done as well without Candy, but then what about him being a good father? What about him giving Candy, the support that she needs in a man in order to get these ideas off the ground, even though she does have the backing. So I do think you can't just talk about the negatives and not the positives.
Then another thing, she's worried about Todd being short. Candy's not tall. Like, how short is Todd? Because
he's short. Yeah, you still want it. So even no matter how short you are, you could be 4'11". You still want those statuesque like type men. Well, those stallions.
That's what she likes. So hey,
he's short. He's like about 2 inches taller than Candy, and Candy's like a good 5'1".
Well, she didn't care.
True.
So I say yes, for some adult women seek approval from their moms. Exactly. Well, she never liked Todd from the beginning. She don't like Todd now. I think Mama Joyce comes off as a hater too. it shows hate to me, like a hater. I would let her, if that was my brother, she would have to go. That was
Yeah,
it.
or cut off the money. Once you cut that money off, I don't think that
I don't think Kanye would do that to him. And also, maybe they have some, they have co-ownership of old lady gang. Either way, my
mhm.
mother will have to go. That's it. No money for you. Then you keep your mouth shut. Once you
That's
start
what I'm
talking,
saying. I would do it as a
blackmail
little.
her ass.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. She's all about money. The mother's all about money, and what Todd don't have, you also living off of me too. And without me, she wouldn't be able to live the lifestyle that Mama Joyce lives. So I
Exactly.
would, yeah, I would control her in that type of way. I would cut off the money for a little bit.
Yep. On Facebook, you create analysis, guys. Thank you. And what else happened to the show? I don't think nothing else.
I mean, Marla walked out, and then Shereé got her to come back. She let Kenya know to please zip it. She does not want to be friends with you. She's trying to have a discussion with Candy, and then Kenya was like, "Fine," and then they started talking. But I still don't think they had a resolution.
I don't know. I think that was, like I said, I'm not interested. I don't know what else going on this episode coming on this weekend. There is nothing, sorry, excuse me, nothing right now on the show that's making me want to continue watching. Nothing in the future either. I guess I'm just gonna wait to see how Drew's marriage falls apart. But other than that, oh, what do you think about Drew and her singing and trying to make it into the music industry?
I think she does sound good. I just don't know if she has, she's using a platform to get ahead. I don't know if it's gonna go anywhere though.
I doubt she made 30 something streams. I'm like, that's not a lot.
Yeah, it really isn't. That's what I'm saying. I do think she has a good voice, but I just think she needs to stick to acting.
I think so too. I think she needs to stick to acting, forget the sing. She's a decent dancer. She does have a great voice. I actually like the song, but Drew, you're not going nowhere. You're not that likable on the show to go for
Yeah.
your
No
sing.
one takes her seriously. I don't think she has a good voice, but she don't got like a Whitney Houston voice that will make us overlook her character on the show. Her character isn't a strong character on Housewives. So why would I just don't think she has that fanfare backing to like substantiate her singing career.
Look at Candace and Married to Medicine. Candace is going on tours, I mean mini tours, but she's utilizing the platform for her singing career.
Yeah, she's getting like
he sounds better than Drew.
Who sounds better than Drew?
I think I'm sorry, I think Drew sounds better than Candace, has a better singer.
Yeah. And that's what I'm saying. I just think Drew just doesn't, the way her and her husband were. And I don't know. I just, her and that weight, losing, dropping with Drew. I just think these things added to her being considered lame on the show, her character.
Throwing bones.
Yeah, she did a lot of corny things that would like no one, you don't got enough strength to, substantiate a singing career. We tolerating you here on Housewives, but that's about it.
Yeah, and they still body shaming her, talking about her shape. Marlo
Yeah.
said something about her shape. Shereé said something about her shape. It's bad. I said after surgery, does her shape still look SpongeBob? I mean, I haven't paid attention.
I think that's why a lot of people don't go back for like tweaks and like upkeep and doing all kind of like people don't stop at one surgery. Like that's probably why.
She's even though she did tweaking, she didn't do the fake butt and stuff like that. So with them, this is why they make those comments because in Atlanta, it's so it's so normal, and that's all they see is the fake butts and the small waists and big boobs or whatever. So now you have a person that did some mommy makeover but didn't do her butt, and then all of a sudden she has a SpongeBob shape.
Yeah. Oh, and then speaking of the brunch, at the Gucci brunch, when Kenya asked,
Sanya, about the butt.
Yeah. Speaking, because remember we talked about that last week about the Kenya's balloon booty in Nene's word.
So this is what really confused me. Now, if you went back and we had a whole topic about this, we all know Kenya's butt is fake. There's no denying that booty is real. Kenya never even said her. I don't think she said it was real. She just never said it wasn't. She never really answered the question. I don't think she ever said her butt was real.
I think she has said it was real. When Marlo was coming at her, I think she did.
Okay, I thought she just never said anything. You know it's real, fake. We all know it's fake. Why do you get upset when they ask someone whether or not it's fake and they're basically saying they don't know or they're saying it is? Why don't you just be honest? I don't understand what was the problem. Everybody got modded tweaks. I assume Shereé did some. Everybody in Atlanta's getting fake ass. What is the big deal saying? Yeah, I did some work on my butt.
Exactly. And then it's like that's why I say like Sanya, Drew, they have these opportunities to kind of like substantiate themselves and to have a comeback when people come at them and they just kind of just fall flat. When Kenya said that to her, she shouldn't you don't tell me how to respond if somebody asking me a question and I feel like your butt is fake. I'm on a show, like I'm getting a paycheck. Like I'm gonna tell you what my feelings are. And I don't think she said it in a derogatory way. They
Yeah,
asked her. And then Kenya's telling what to say. Well, you could have just said it looked nice and just leave it at that. No, you don't tell me how to respond.
that's when I had no respect for Sanya. Because that's when you should be like, wait, it is fake. Like, I don't understand what the big deal is. It's clear. And the camera people know it's fake because they all zooming on her butt.
Yeah.
Kenya's shape has not really changed from when she was in her 30s, even her 20s. She has the same shape. And like Drew said, Drew made a good point. Well, she lose weight, she gains weight, it stays the same. Now,
Yeah.
we're women. We know how our body works. You gain
Mm-hmm.
weight, you're gonna gain maybe in the thighs and a little bit of booty. You lose it, the booty goes too, depending on
Mm-hmm.
weight. But if your ass is always is big and you lose 20, 15 pounds, that ass is gonna go down.
And hers is too balloonish. Even when no matter when she gain weight, lose weight, it's still like a bubble.
It looks like a basketball she put in her pants.
Yeah. And then it's like like you said, Sanya is just did she fell short again.
Yeah,
Like
Kenya's butt does not move. It doesn't jiggle. It doesn't do anything. It doesn't walk when she's walking. It doesn't do anything. It's just there. So at this point, just be honest. Marlo mentioned you could tell Marlo did something to us. Shereé, I think I think Shereé did something too. I honestly think Shereé
Yeah,
made
I think so too. I think Shereé is definitely getting
stuff.
tweets done. Did you see when she was on Watch What Happens Live and they asked her, because her face looked totally different and she looked like she was about to admit it. And then she just kind of like straight up lied in the camera. And she was like getting ready to say, well, I did a little. No, not at all. Like, girl, stop.
I saw a post and they said Shereé started to look like Drew. And it was so funny because when I saw that picture, I thought it was Drew. We all know if you follow Marlo's Instagram, she goes to some doctor. She does a lot of facial stuff, but I think she's gotten maybe a little bit fills on her cheeks. I think she got a little bit of Botox. I
Yeah.
think she probably put a little bit of it, not too much. I think she already had like I would say a muscle butt. I don't think she went over the top. I think she put some stuff in there.
Yeah.
I think hers is fake too. I mean, I don't know now. Is it considered fake if it's injections? Whatever it is, she did something. Let's just say some booty enhancements. I rather use that instead of it's fake.
Yeah. And they just
Put some
refuse.
cement in there.
And they just refuse to admit it. But that's where Sanya should have just said to her, listen, I answered the question. They asked me a question, and I'm going to answer it how I want to answer it, not the way you tell me I should answer it.
Yeah, last season, Marlo was basically attacking Kenya, saying how it's fake. I don't understand what the big deal is. Like, nobody cares. Even if you're like, oh, you have a fake butt. Okay. Own it. Like, no one is going to look at you in a different light because they're all in the same situation.
They don't want to admit it.
I just say admit it, and then that'll be the end of the topic. Yes, I didn't work on my butt. And then that would have been the end of the topic instead of trying to get upset when someone asks you or asks someone else and you want them to lie. They see their butt. You don't think they see it and they could tell it's fake?
And she's doubled down on it. Did you see her on Watch What Happens Live? She was on there again, Sanya. Wasn't she on? She was on something, or didn't she talk about it further? And they asked her again about Kenya's butt? Or was it Carlos King? I know somebody asked her again about Kenya's butt. Like, does she take it back? Her answer, and she was like, absolutely not.
So there you go.
But Sanya needs to keep that same energy when she's confronted about her answers. Stop falling flat and stumbling on your words when people approach you. Like, stand 10 toes down, Sanya.
Scared. I agree. And I think that was it for that episode. I don't remember anything else happening that needs to be discussed that was good.
I
Anything
don't think
else?
so either. I don't think, nothing else. Hopefully the season will pick up and, we'll see the blossoming or the spiraling out of control relationship. But we're gonna see Drew and her husband, Ralph, and they're spiraling to divorce court. So I guess we'll see that.
Rush into the divorce court. So that was it for this episode. I don't know what episode this was, but it was again. So thank you for joining us.
And leave your comments down below.
Yeah,
Don't
leave your
forget to hit that.
comments.
Yes.
Like,
hit that like button.
comment. If you're just looking, hey, Facebook user, we don't know who you are, but subscribe.
Yeah. Do you know that they changed the criteria for YouTube? You don't have to have 1,000 subscribers now. You only need 500 subscribers. So we almost there. So hopefully people can help us out to reach that plateau of 500 subscribers. Hit that subscribe button.
Thank you, Miss YouTube.
Yes.
Thank you. See you. Toodles.
Next time, leave those comments.